Your house isn't worth what you think it is. Those were my exact words to a client last month who wanted to list their home for $50,000 above any comparable sale in their neighborhood. They ignored my advice. And guess what happened? 0 showings in the first 2 weeks. Not a single buyer even wanted to look at it. The disconnect between what sellers expect and what buyers are willing to pay in 2025 has never been greater. And if you're planning to sell, you need to understand why this gap exists and how to actually position your home to sell in today's reality, not the market you wish we still had. Let's talk about price fantasies. You know that neighbor who sold their house for $50,000 over asking with multiple offers and a waived inspection back in 2022? Yep, we all have that story branded in our brains. But comparing your 2025 home sale to what happened during the pandemic real estate frenzy is like comparing apples to, well, something that isn't even a fruit. I'm seeing this dangerous pattern with sellers across the country right now. They're looking at Zillow's historical data from 1 year ago, finding the highest comp on their block, adding 10% to that number and saying, that's my price. Then they sit and sit and sit on the market. Let me show you what's actually happening in today's market. According to the latest MLS data, bidding wars have plummeted by 85% compared to their 2022 peak. The average time homes spent on the market has more than tripled, from 17 days in 2022 to 54 days now in most markets. That's not a major adjustment. That's a complete market transformation. I recently spoke to an agent from one of my mastermind groups whose clients listed their home at $625,000 just because a neighbor got $610,000 in 2022. After sitting on the market for 3 months with no offers, they dropped their price repeatedly and finally sold at $555,000. After nearly 8 months of mortgage payments and stress, they ended up netting less than if they'd priced it correctly from day one. So why do sellers cling to outdated pricing expectations despite overwhelming evidence? Psychologists call this anchoring bias, our tendency to rely too heavily on the first piece of information we encounter. If you witness your neighborhood's peak pricing frenzy, your brain literally gets anchored to those numbers, making it extremely difficult to accept current market realities. What's also changed dramatically is how buyers determine value in 2025. During the pandemic, buyers used emotional metrics. I need space to work from home at any cost, or I need to escape the city immediately. Today, we're seeing what economists call price discovery, a much more calculated rationale approach where buyers are weighing interest rates, renovation costs, and economic uncertainties before making offers. And here's something home sellers and even most agents don't know. Algorithms are working against overpriced listings. Today's AI-powered home valuation tools used by Zillow and other major real estate platforms flag overpriced homes in their systems. What happens then? The listing gets less visibility in searches, fewer searches, and ultimately no offers. In the end, your home gets pushed further off of buyers' radars. So what actually works in today's market? I know this sounds counterintuitive, but the data is clear. Pricing your home 5 to 7% below what you think is worth often nets more money than starting high. Why? Because appropriate pricing creates competition rather than stagnation. A properly priced home attracts multiple interested buyers who may bid against each other, while an overpriced home attracts nobody. The price conversation is just half the equation. As we shift from pricing to understanding today's buyer psychology, it's clear the game has changed. The pandemic era where a buyer would purchase anything with 4 walls is gone. Today's buyers aren't just price sensitive. They're scrutinizing every detail like detectives, inspecting homes with extreme caution before committing. This shift is dramatic. A recent National Association of Realtors survey revealed a striking truth. 78% of failed transactions in the past 6 months collapsed because sellers wouldn't address inspection issues. That's nearly 8 out of 10 deals. This isn't just a trend, it's a fundamental market shift. So what's driving this new buyer mentality? 3 key factors have come together to create today's ultra-cautious purchaser. First, with mortgage rates still hovering around 6.5%, buyers are stretching their budgets just to afford the monthly payment. Second, Renovation costs have skyrocketed. What cost $20,000 to remodel in 2021 now approaches $35,000 for the same project. And third, economic uncertainty has buyers calculating worst case scenarios before signing on the dotted line. One of our recent buyers walked away from 3 homes that needed work, even though they were in the exact location they had their hearts set on. But with their mortgage already taking up 42% of their income, adding another $40,000 in repairs just wasn't realistic, especially with job uncertainty ahead. They told me, Lily, we couldn't take that kind of financial risk. The stress just wasn't worth it for them. Another buyer put it even more simply. Every $10,000 in repairs would add roughly $75 to their monthly expenses. Once they ran the numbers, those great potential homes didn't seem like such a great deal anymore. In the end, peace of mind mattered more than the charm of the home. The data confirms this shift in preferences. While location dominated buyer priorities for decades, the 2025 Home Buyer Trends Report shows that move-in ready condition now ranks as the number one consideration, with 64% of buyers willing to sacrifice location for a home that requires 0 immediate improvements. So what exactly are today's non-negotiables for buyers? First, energy efficient windows. With rising utility costs, outdated windows can make a home unaffordable in the long run. Buyers are looking for double pane insulated windows that help keep energy bills in check. Second, an HVAC system with plenty of life left. After stretching their budgets for down payments and closing costs, buyers don't want to worry about replacing a furnace or AC unit right away. A well-maintained system, ideally less than 10 years old, gives them peace of mind while they settle in. Third, durable, low-maintenance flooring. High-quality luxury vinyl plank, known as LVP, is in demand because it's waterproof, scratch-resistant, and lasts for years. Perfect for busy households. Fourth, an updated kitchen. It doesn't need to be ultra-modern, but buyers expect clean, neutral finishes like white cabinets, quartz countertops, and matching appliances, please, preferably stainless steel. And finally, fresh, neutral paint. Dark, outdated, or overly personalized colors turns buyers off. A light neutral palette makes a home feel clean, bright, and move-in ready. Exactly what today's buyers want. These aren't just preferences anymore. They're deal breakers in today's market. This doesn't mean you need to completely renovate your home before you sell. Strategic updates targeting these key areas often see returns of 150 to 300% at closing. These thoughtful improvements are the dividing line between homes that sell in days versus months. I've personally tracked the performance of similar properties across multiple neighborhoods, and a clear pattern has emerged. Some sellers are celebrating with quick closings, while others are slashing prices in desperation. Let me break down exactly what sellers who close quickly are doing differently. First, they get ahead of the inspection issues. I advised one of my sellers to be proactive and do a pre-listing inspection. The report flagged a minor foundation issue, and instead of waiting for buyers to find it, he spent $1,200 to have it professionally repaired. We provided the receipt up front, showing it was handled by a licensed contractor, and that simple step gave buyers peace of mind and kept negotiations smooth. If we had waited, the issue could have led to costly last-minute demands or even scared buyers away completely. Second, they ensure the home is absolutely spotless. Buyers notice everything, and nothing kills a first impression faster than a home that feels dirty or neglected. That's why I require all my sellers to invest in a professional deep clean before listing. The difference is night and day. The refrigerator, pristine. The range, sparkling. Every surface, no dust, no grime, no grease. The entire home feels fresh, move-in ready, and buyers instantly take notice. Third, smart sellers build buyer incentives into their strategy from day one. Home warranties, closing cost credits, and mortgage rate buydowns are increasingly common right now. I recently had a listing in a neighborhood where 3 identical townhomes were for sale at the same time. To stand out, my seller offered a $7,500 closing cost credit and a home warranty up front. The result? 5 showings the first weekend and 2 offers by day 4, while the others sat on the market. Fourth, smart pricing is all about maximizing visibility. Instead of using outdated 99 pricing tactics, I price homes at round numbers to capture the widest pool of buyers. Listing at $500,000 instead of $499,900 ensures the home appears in searches for buyers looking in both the $450 to $500 range and the $500 to $550 range. But at $499,900, the home would be invisible to buyers starting their search at $500,000. That small difference can cut exposure in half and limit potential offers. It's not about pricing lower. It's about positioning the home where the most eyes will see it. So here's the bottom line. The real estate landscape of 2025 is transformed, but that doesn't mean you can't sell your home successfully. The sellers who are winning in this market aren't the ones reminiscing about the glory days of bidding wars. They're the ones who've accepted reality and adjusted their approach accordingly. And remember, in this market, your first serious offer deserves serious consideration. But you'll only get that strong initial offer if you've positioned your home correctly from day one. If you're thinking about selling, buying, investing, or relocating to Maryland, I can help you navigate this market with the right strategy. And if you're local, we can meet in person and create a plan that works for you. If you're outside of Maryland, no worries. I have a personally vetted network of top real estate agents, and I can connect you with the best in your market at no cost to you. Reach out to me directly or fill out the quick and simple form in the description box below. And if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to subscribe. I put a lot of effort into bringing you valuable and accurate real estate insights every week. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.